So, our next speaker has the title, When Media Meets Creative, Advantages in Numbers. And I have to be quite honest, the first time I read it, I thought it said adventures in numbers. So I think that's kind of quite fitting. So here to talk about the advantages and adventures of numbers is Andreas Groke, co-founder and managing director of Videobeat. Please give a warm welcome, Andreas.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to deep dive right in. We don't have much time, so we're going to answer the question why creation and media should work together, how they can do it, and what kind of advantages you can achieve when they do so. So first of all, I want to change your understanding of one fundamental principle when it comes to how video ads and videos are being ranked on social media platforms such as Facebook or YouTube. And you know, they always tell you, hey, we rank videos by how much watch time you get, right? But I think it should be more along the lines of, we rank videos mostly by how much money they make for us. Because, you know, these are profit centers, they want to make money. But, you know, I'm just a guy on a stage, so don't take this from me. I was lucky enough to be in a Congress hearing from Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know if you've seen this. So let's hear what he has to say about this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mark, I know there's been some stupid questions here today, but let's get real for a minute, okay?
Okay.
I want to know about how you rank video ads. Specifically, what influence does the CPM advertisers have to pay?
I do not have that information.
Right, let me make this real simple. You do not rank ads by watch time exactly, do you?
I'm not sure specifically.
Not sure specifically. Okay, well, isn't it true that you actually rank video ads by how much money they make for you?
Yes.
That's what I thought. We'll get back to this. So for the next bit, I just want you to think about that and make sure when I tell you a little bit of a story, that people like Facebook and YouTube kind of rank videos by how much money they make for them, right? So I'm going to tell you a story about Steven Spielberg, who's a director. He's like producing the most amazing video ads all the time, right? That's his thing. And we have like Linda Nielsen, and Linda is from our media department. She's doing a lot of media optimizations. She's doing the media buying for us, right? You know this. She's our campaign manager. And we have Albert Weinstein, who's a data analyst. You know, he's that guy who's working in your basement for 2 years, and you have seen him, but you don't really know what he does. But he has actually some really great insights. So what we did is we kind of let him out and asked him, hey guys, hey Albert, what have you been doing the last 2 years? What kind of insights have you generated? And he looked at hundreds of Facebook video campaigns and kind of realized that, what drives the relevance score on Facebook is actually the watch time. So the longer people watch your ads, the better your relevance scores are going to get. And that's important because the better your relevance scores are going to get, the lower cost per mil you have to pay. Your cost is going down. You can clearly see that the better your relevance scores are, the lower the price is going to be. And what's more important, the strongest decrease in CPM you can get when you reach a relevance score when you jump from 5 to 6 and when you jump from 8 to 9. That tells me that there's a lot of advertisers out there who have a relevance score of 5. And when I get better than them, I can pay, my CPM kind of goes down. He also looked at a lot of YouTube campaigns, skippable YouTube ads, and realized, hey, the view rate strongly correlates with the cost per visit or the cost per view. So what you need to do is actually make people not skip your ad and view your ad. The more people you view your ad, the lower your cost per visit is going to be. You can save some real money on that. So more watch time actually means lower cost and resulting in basically more money for you that you have to spare and therefore more reach. But what's more important is algorithms evaluate ads by their impact on the user's session length. And that's really important because that's what Mark was telling you about, right? So imagine this, you're at home, you're watching YouTube, usually you do that for 20 minutes every night, and then you see a lot of ads that are really annoying, and you skip them away, and you skip another ad, and you skip another ad, and at the 10th ad, you're like, fuck this, I'm going to throw my iPad away, I'm going to watch some TV or read a book for a change, right? What happens in that moment is basically from your 20 minutes you spend on YouTube every night, this just got cut down to 10 minutes. And that's bad for business. That's bad for Facebook and bad for YouTube because they can't show you as many ads anymore. So you can actually see this from all of these compilation videos, from funny animals, funny babies, you know, all these compilation videos about plane crashes and car accidents and all of that stuff. Because what happens if you watch these videos? You don't just watch one, you get hooked and you watch like 10 of them, right? So what happens with your session length is, these are really good for your session length because you just watch 10 of them and you spend like half an hour on YouTube in no time. That means YouTube can show you a lot of ads. That's good for business. And that's why these videos get ranked up so much and all of them have millions of views. But here's the problem. Advertising is usually really bad for the people's session length, right? You see a lot of annoying ads, you skip them, you throw your iPad away, you read a book, done, bad for business. So let's summarize this for a moment. So let me summarize this, just making sure I get this right here. Annoying video ads that result in shorter user sessions get a bad relevance score, and therefore advertisers have to pay a higher CPM.
That is correct.
Okay, and if people enjoy my video ads and stay longer on the platform, I get a better relevance score and the CPM I have to pay is lower.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mark. That has been very helpful today.
So obviously, that video is fake. I don't want to get sued by Facebook or anything. I'm not a US senator. Something to do with me not having a US passport or something like that. But what's really important here is that we need to change things around. If they want to work together and kind of leverage all of that knowledge, we need to make sure that it's not Steven who's producing a video and giving it to Linda so she can, push that out to the platforms. We need to turn this around. And more importantly, we need to adapt the workflow that media is first and creative is going to be last. Why? Because with that knowledge, Linda can now kind of space up her game, right? So previously, she's been just using videos she's going to get from Steven and say, hey, here's a video, and she pushes that to Facebook or YouTube, kind of tests a couple of different target groups, kind of trying to optimize for the better CPM. But now she kind of realizes that, view rate and watch time all get influenced by the combination of the ad formats and the target groups, of kind of the video length that you have at your disposal, of the combination of when you show these videos to the target group and what kind of moments are they currently. Are they at home? Are they on the way to work? And that kind of results in Linda kind of being able to brief to Steven, hey, here's my list of videos I'm going to need for my media plan. It's not like you give me a video or two and you decide what kind of length it's going to have and what kind of aspect ratio it's going to have. She is telling him. So now she tells him, hey, I'm going to be on Facebook. I need like 10 different videos, a couple different lengths, different messages here and there. I need different aspect ratios and all of that stuff. I want to need the same thing for YouTube because she knows it's all about view rate and watch time. She knows that the most important thing she needs to achieve is the fit of the video to the formats that she's going to use, to the interest of the people she's going to show it to, and to the targeting options she has at her disposal. And from that, you can actually see 2 of these 3 categories are actually media categories. It's like Linda's turf. She's deciding which format she's going to use. She's deciding which kind of targeting options she's going to use. So Steven has nothing to do with that. So she needs to start the work first. From that, and only after that, all of that has happened, now it's Steven's turn to kind of go about it and have a crack on this entire campaign. And he knows some stuff too. So he knows that the 5 drivers for videos to generate more watch times are basically 5 jobs. You need to make them laugh. You need to make them see themselves. You need to make them connect, make them understand something, and you need to make them feel something. These are the 5 key drivers for better view rates and for better watch time. So he's going to about it and be like, hey, I'm going to produce my ideas and put kind of triggers in the videos to make sure I'm going to have people, understand something, feel something, connect to the video, and all of that stuff, because watch time exponentially grows with every kind of job that I do. It's not a linear growth. Research shows
that is not like, hey, I'm going to do another job and I get a little bit more watch time, and another job, a little bit more watch time. It's actually exponential. So with every job that I do, I can actually double my watch time. So this has a huge impact on all of the metrics that Linda needs to achieve good prices, to achieve like good performance. So he's doing that. The problem is, previously, Steven was just going around and being like, hey, I don't care about watch time. I don't care about view rates, anything like that. My job is to produce like great videos. And that's not his fault. It's actually our fault. Like the agency's fault, the advertiser's fault, the fault of the award committee at Cannes or the Art Directors Club, because we've been all asking Steven the wrong questions. We've been asking, hey, Steven, what's your idea about, right? So let's imagine we're in a conference room, like in a pitch meeting at a company called Geico. Some of you might know them. It's a big insurance company in the United States. So Steven is going into this pitch meeting, and all of the stakeholders are there. CEO, CMO, everyone's there, and it's like, CMO goes, hey, Steven, you're from this big shot creative agency, or this big shot creative. So like, tell me, what's the idea about? And if you ask Steven only, hey, what's your idea about? He's coming up and say like, hey, I have this great idea. We're going to use like a helicopter and then, New York skyline, agents running around, packed with action. It's going to be an amazing spot. And then, he's fighting all these people. And then plot twist, his mom calls, and then she's calling with his mom, and then he's fighting the people while doing so. And we see the helicopter again. And then we just, what we do is we put just an animation out there and saying, hey, this is the product. This is great. And then CMO goes like, hey, yeah, Steven, it's amazing. I like action movies. Let's do that. I like Schwarzenegger, so it's sport. Let's produce this shit. So, but then if Linda would be in that meeting, right, she would be like, guys, what is this? I can't use this. I don't need a plot twist after 15 seconds. Everyone will have skipped the ad by then. So I will get shitty view rates. I will get a shitty watch time. I'm going to interrupt the people's session length. So my price goes up, my performance goes down the drain. I don't need this. This is not a good idea. So what we actually need to do, we need to ask him what it's about, of course, but we need to also ask him, hey, Steven, how are you going to make people laugh, right? How can people identify with this ad? I mean, is this an ad for secret government agents that are, watching Oprah in the night and then, being like, I know this, I always have this. When I'm in New York fighting the Russians, my mom calls, story of my life. I don't think so. So how are people connecting to it? What does it make people understand? Does it teach you how to, call your mom and fight at the same time? It's also not that great. So what does it make people feel? And most importantly, why won't people skip this ad? Why won't people, swipe away on Facebook and be like, hey, this is interesting? So, and if you ask him all of these kinds of questions, he comes up with different ideas, right?
Don't thank me. Thank the savings.
You can't skip this Geico ad because it's already over. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So this I can identify with, right? I have a family at home. I have a dog. I have just eaten dinner with my family. And also it makes me feel kind of curious. What's happening with that dog? I don't want to skip this. So this works out. So you can actually, use different techniques of making people not skip the ad. You can be like super bold about it, have like key visuals and be like, hey, if you press that button, you're going to actually electrocute that puppy. Don't do it, right? You can also just be simple about it and put the plot twist in the beginning. Make the interesting stuff in the beginning so people don't skip. You can use several techniques on Facebook to make sure they're not swiping away your ad. Because what is it that we do? We kind of use our cell phones. We are just on Facebook every day and we swipe all the time. We swipe. We swipe away all of these ads, right? You want to make sure people are kind of stopping their thumb and be like, wait a minute, this is interesting. I'm gonna actually watch this. Right? And then you get better view rates, you don't interrupt the session so much, and you get better results. So now all of these three people kind of start working together. And the most important thing here is Steven is still part of the team during the media campaign. So when we push these ads out and the campaign is running, Steven is not off in Cape Town shooting his next commercial with BMW or Coca-Cola. He's still part of the team because they now look at things like view rate and watch time, obviously. But they also analyze the entire campaign for two very important additional metrics: cost per minute watched and average seconds per impression. So the cost per minute watched is actually a really great metric because it combines cost and watch time at the same time, right? And average seconds per impression is actually the best trigger or the best kind of incentive to analyze how well the fit is in terms of format, interest, and target of your video, of that video in that target group, and so forth. So they look at all of these things, and during the campaign, they're going to be able to see, hey, I can actually realize my second video works really well in certain demographics. They could generate really good watch times, but the younger people and the slightly older people, they actually skip it the entire time. So what they are going to do is, like, Steven is either going to go and be like, hey, I'm going to produce a slightly different video for the younger and older people so the watch time is also good, or I'm going to take it out of the mix. I don't need this because this is getting my price up. If this is getting my view rate down, it's getting my price up. So at the same time, they could look at different demos and be like, hey, where's the watch time the best? Where am I most likely to not interrupt the people's session length with what kind of combination to get the cost down? With the cost per minute watched, for the first time, they're actually able to analyze the performance of different platforms and different walled gardens. Because the cost per minute watched is actually one of the onlyest metrics you can use to compare platforms, because you can basically calculate it anywhere, regardless if you buy on a CPM basis, on a CPV basis. It doesn't matter if your ad format is skippable or unskippable, you can calculate that for yourself, and they kind of find things out. And this is real data here. They kind of see, hey, for a minute of brand contact on Facebook with my campaign, I'm going to pay €4, where at the same time, for a minute of brand contact, I'm paying 17 cents on YouTube. So I don't need this. I'm either going to do a different video on YouTube, a different video on Facebook, or I'm going to cut this combination of that video and that target group on Facebook out. They can also be and say, let's look at the seconds per impression that we generate. And they realize, again, also real data, that they generate 7 seconds per impression on average, where at the same time and at roughly the same cost, they generate 31 on YouTube. So Facebook is not always bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. It always depends on the advertiser and the video and all of that stuff. But they can see, with these kinds of metrics working together, they can see these kinds of things and optimize for it and change their videos to reflect that. So before we close, I want to show you a video from Sennheiser. Sennheiser has used this video to put it up on YouTube as a skippable ad, right? So imagine yourself, you're at home now watching the funny animal and funny baby videos with your iPad, and then this ad comes up. I want you to raise your hand when you would skip this ad, all right? Here we go. All right, that was fast. I mean, almost everyone skipped this ad already, and it's true. Thing is here, the average view rate on YouTube, globally, all of the ads, all verticals, doesn't matter which brand, is about 25 to 30%. So 70% of people usually skip an ad. This ad from Sennheiser had a view rate of 87%. So now you're like, wait, what? Every one of you would have skipped this immediately. But the thing is, you don't know who this guy is. So I'm thinking most of you are not in the music producing industry business. I don't know him myself. But this guy is actually a producer, famous producer from Berlin, super successful. He's working for Jason Derulo, Rihanna, all of that stuff. So, and if you have this target group, music producers and people interested in music producing, they know who this guy is. And they like these kinds of videos, like him explaining how he works and all of that stuff. So they won't skip this ad. So in terms of fit, target group versus ad, you all would have skipped it, but that target group didn't skip it. So the price goes down, performance goes up, Linda's happy, everyone's happy, everything's cool. So what you really need to do is kind of break it down. And Linda and Steven together kind of figuring out, hey, what we could do is, we could use different kind of actors. A young girl, this young professional male, slightly older dude, and stuff like this. And we kind of, make people see themselves, make them able to identify with it, and kind of show the right ad at the right moment to the right people. And then get these kinds of numbers up. And if we look at, hundreds of campaigns being done by teamwork from these people together versus, let's call it the old way, of one creative agency producing a video, then handing it off to another agency and stuff like this. What you can actually achieve is, on average, you can cut your cost down by half, which is amazing because actually it gives you double the reach. With the same kind of money, you can reach double the people. you can reach 3 times more view rates, 5 times more watch time, and a 73% better cost per minute watched. The only thing you have to do is kind of put media first, creative last, make sure you have a perfect fit, and then don't ship off Steven to Cape Town once the shoot is done, but have him there during the media campaign, right? So if you want to talk about this a little bit more, you can reach me on LinkedIn or on a website, or we have a booth just outside that door. There's a big white balloon in the hall. You can find us there. Thank you so much. Have fun at the festival.
Thank you. I'll take it. Thank you.